to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Are you listening? Do you hear me? 'Cause I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Run it up.
All right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of I'm Trying to Have a Conversation with You, a podcast about two sisters who never seem to stop or be done talking. Today, we have a very unique opportunity, and we are having a conversation with 56'N. But let me first tell you, I'm Monique, and
I'm Kasha.
we are talking to essentially our brother show, I guess. It is one of the shows that falls under our Street Tales Network umbrella. It's called 56'N, and it is hosted by my two co-hosts from Street Tales, but this is their spinoff show. And I will tell you, if you have not watched it, it is thought-provoking. It is funny. It is interesting. It makes you say, huh? Sometimes it makes you say, no. Lots of things like that. So I have been so excited since we had our spinoff show of I'm Trying to Have a Conversation with You. I have been wanting to have this collaborative show because I think it's going to be awesome. So without further ado, gentlemen,
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Pleasure.
BJ.
We didn't even introduce ourselves. I'm so sorry.
No, you did not. Go ahead, sir.
I'm BJ. This is my brother over here.
Tyler, otherwise known as White Chocolate. It's all good, bro. It's true though.
It's outrageous though, is what it is.
Not white chocolate.
You weren't ready.
Kasha, I have a book signed by the White House photographer. It's his book. Lawrence Jackson. Love that guy. And he signed it to White Chocolate. He was the White House photographer during Obama's presidency. And yeah, I got that.
I have never heard that story.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he signed it while we were on Air Force 2. And I was like, I bought your book. And he's like, you're one of like 8 people. And I'm like, no, it was really good. And he signed it. And when I opened it, I just started fucking dying laughing. I was like, I appreciate it.
I mean, if you get a nickname like that.
So when he bought my book, I signed it for him, but I signed it respectfully, White Chocolate.
As you should, sir. As you should.
Hey, it is what it is. Absolutely.
But that's amazing.
Mo, if you don't mind, I found this
Please.
the other day because so BJ and I were talking about digitizing important records.
Yeah.
So you always have them like high school transcripts, college transcripts, all that shit, because you'll need it throughout your career. And I came across this, and Kasha, I know you have not ever heard this, but this was one of the few, this was a letter written by a retired deputy to Sheriff Gee.
Retired major.
Fred was a major?
Was a retired major.
Ah, respect.
Oh.
See, I didn't even know that. But it was written, he wrote this to the sheriff about me, Mo, and BJ, all 3 of us in one call.
Before you read that, people who don't on our show that may not know, I met Tyler and BJ because we served as deputy sheriffs together in Hillsborough County. And when I tell you, this was my second stint kind of on the road, and I came back out and got hooked up with these two. One of the best times in my career, I will say, especially coming back to the street, because typically when people come back to the street, it's not as much fun because the people that they've worked with have moved on and left and they're somewhere else. Man, when I came back to the street, these two made it worth coming to work for. When they weren't there, I'd be like, I'm gonna call them sick.
Yeah, we needed to be corralled by somebody. So
yeah, so great. That is true. Yes.
I loved every minute of working with these guys, though. So go on now, sir.
All right. So this was September 3rd or 13th, 2013. So it was back in the day. Sheriff Gee, I would like to take this time to say thanks for all the support I received during my wife's illness and transition. She passed away. Thanks for the words of encouragement, flowers, cards, calls, and prayers. Thank you, Sheriff, and the wonderful friends I have at the Sheriff office. I would like to give a special thanks and commendations to the following. Deputy T. Martin was the first responder to our home on August 24th. His calmness and professional demeanor was a godsend. We attempted to revive my wife with CPR, but were not successful. Deputy, I'll say Mo, because actually it's your old name, Mo. And
Thank you.
Deputy Atkins arrived later and assisted with an AED in keeping me calm. These 3 deputies have made contact with me after the incident, offering their support for me and my family. I can't thank the motor units enough that escorted my wife to her final earthly resting place, true professionals. Others have asked if there is something they can do. I say yes. My wife requested that if you have the opportunity to assist someone, especially the elderly, with a medical need, please do so. It may be in the form of purchasing a medication for the month or just giving them someone to talk to. May the blessing of God be upon you all. Thanks from me and my family, Fred. Now, immediately after that, I was called a shitbag deputy. So I
That is
just like
true.
to keep these things. Every now and again, I like to remind myself, maybe I'm not so bad all the time. But we had fun.
We had a lot of fun.
We would
Get things done.
Get things done. Like BJ read a True Crime with Mo, and it was like the individual was resisting arrest and did not want to have handcuffs put upon him. The next sentence, once the handcuffs were on, don't worry about how that all happened.
I will say, though,
Don't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
we kept it legal.
Oh,
Always.
Yeah.
For
Listen.
sure. Because I don't want anybody to read into that. We always kept it legal. And I definitely, sometimes I will admit, I had to like hold the reins back with my voice, but they were good to go.
I've said this on Street Tales. I don't know if I've said it on 56 or obviously not this show, but it's almost like Dave or Chris Rock. It was like, well, you want a cookie for being a good parent? It's kind of like that, but I never in my entire career gave anybody extra love. Once the handcuffs were on, it was a wrap.
Yeah, it's done.
It's over.
Yeah.
I won. I didn't care what happened after that. I won. I never did that.
Nope.
Yeah.
But between not wanting handcuffs put on and handcuffs put on, listen,
These handcuffs
you're getting
going on.
all of it. You're getting all of
bets
it.
are off.
It's going on.
All bets are off.
I love playing the game. I win because I always win. Yeah.
It was always fair. You could have stopped at any point, and that means we would have stopped.
Yeah.
That's how it worked.
Anyway, but I wanted to, I saw that letter. I was like, this would be
I
perfect.
love it.
I think that was my very first commendation. I think it was.
Was it?
I think that was my
Well,
very
if
first
you remember
commendation.
the highs and lows, though, because we thought we brought her back because they found a pulse and
we
then
did-
she
we
passed
did.
away in the
Yeah.
hospital. Yeah.
She got transported. Yeah, we thought we
Yeah.
we
To
really
tell
thought
you
We
how
thought we
the
brought
whole-
her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the call. They lived in an area where we were in a lot, so we happened to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Tyler gets there first, and didn't you jump the fence to get there because
I
they
did.
had
Oh
the
yeah, I
house?
just fucking
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
jumped. Yeah.
Jumps the fence, runs in there. He's doing his thing. Me and BJ get there to back him up. We are working well together like we always do to
Yeah.
save this lady, and we got a pulse, and we were excited because the part that I don't know if you caught, but this guy worked for the sheriff's office, and this was his wife.
Which we did not
And
know at
so
the time.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
He
No.
told us, he said it to me as I was coming in, and then I recognized him. But you guys had been new because he had worked in the jail, I believe, not on the road.
Okay.
So this made us work extra hard, I will say. And then when we got a pulse, we were all extra excited. They transported her, and then later on we found out she passed away. And one of us would go by and check on him, at least I would say once a shift.
Yeah.
One of us would go by and just check in and say, we just want you to know that we're here. You need anything? Because, I mean, you
Yeah.
can't fix somebody losing their wife.
Yeah.
You can't.
No. Ugh.
I felt bad because we
Oh.
really thought we
We did.
Yeah.
did some good work.
It hurt a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
That would bother me because I thought really thought we had a win right there. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
I had some hope that I wouldn't cry this episode. This is a female situation, and we have cried probably like half the shows that has been released.
That's
So
true.
I'm going to try not to. Okay, I thought, some testosterone will bring that
It'll
toughness,
keep
and
it.
y'all over here immediately with Kasha. Do you want to cry?
Fair
I'm a
enough.
G
Sorry.
though. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
appreciate what y'all did. I love that. I'm a G.
Yes.
It
We're
was
not gonna
nice.
make you cry.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, no, no.
But that was a great one. I'm glad that Tyler brought that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah, that
excited
was
absolutely.
a
about
That's
it.
really
fire.
good one.
So we didn't have a hardcore outline, that's my normal MO, but I have been rolling around some things in my head that I had for questions for you guys, and I would hope that you guys have some questions for us. So one of the things I was talking about, because you'll hear this quite often, and to me this goes against the grain of it, men and women can't be friends. My perspective is I believe that men and women absolutely can be friends. I believe, though, that for me, with my male friendships, I have some hard, fast rules. There's certain things I'll never do to make my husband feel uncomfortable with the relationships that I have with my male friends. And I think the male friends that I have selected are respectful of my husband, number one, and they're respectful of those hard, fast lines that I have created. Um, I fully believe that for me, I think it's important for women to have male friends because there may or may be a time, may or may not be a time where you need a male perspective to say, don't burn the house down. You should not do that.
Well, they.
That's a bad idea. Why don't you try this approach? Because
Yeah.
as women and men, we communicate very differently.
Mhm.
And I will say I was very blessed with being in a profession that was male dominated. And the reason why I say blessed is because I would pull up and we would 56 with each other as deputies, and we would talk. And on a 12-hour shift back in the day, during downtime, we would have the opportunity to have a lot of conversations, and I would get an opportunity to hear male perspective, male perspective in relationships, male perspective in friendships, how males interact, those kind of things. And I realized that not necessarily how women interact with each other is going to directly translate with how I'm going to interact with my male counterparts. And when they evolve into being my male close friends, I'm going to have to try to adjust. I'm not going to be a dude, but I am going to adjust and not be a girl interacting with them necessarily because it is different. Um,
Yeah.
I loved I love my male friends because, like I said, they have talked to me down and out of sometimes the female rationale that we think is right all the time and been like, okay, first of all, BJ, you ain't got to roll your eyes like that. Um, but they have said, hey, you should try this. Remember, your guy is thinking from this perspective or whatever.
Mhm.
And I feel I would like to hope that I have also shared the female perspective with them and kind of help them guide through rough spots, bumps in the road, et cetera, et cetera. So I pose the question, Kasha, I'm gonna throw it to you first, and then I want to get the perspective from 56'N. Um, can males and females be friends? What is your perspective?
My perspective is yes. I actually I had short-term friendships with men, but and it was always like work related and stuff like that. But I agree with that. I think that having that male perspective, I also say there's a different pressure in a friendship, especially like if you me and my best friends are blooded in, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not really much we could do at this point. But when you're developing a female friendship and you're a female, there's there's some touchiness. You don't know what she takes seriously. You don't know her humor is and things like that. I've rarely come across men who have been super touchy about certain subjects or you can't jab at them the wrong way. I've had female friends, I've lost female friends to my jokes before. So like so I will say in my friendships in those times, I really didn't have that pressure of oh, am I crossing this boundary? Am I making them anxious and pissing them off easy? I don't think I could have ever been able to hang around that person. So yes, and I've seen it, and I've seen it through you, and I've seen it through our brother, who happens to be the very opposite. He always had a lot of female friends, and he was easy to navigate that because he's just a straight up person. And so yeah, I would say yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
I would say yes. I think it depends on the type of man trying to be friends with, right? So you brought up two things that I personally take seriously, right? That I consider, right? First and
Okay.
foremost, I respect your man first and foremost, right? So there's certain things just based off of that in and of itself that sets a boundary, right? Um, usually, like most of my well, a majority of my, sure, I'd say 95% of my friends are married or in long-term relationships, right? So I don't have a lot of like single like friends, period. Um, but even then, especially the ones who are married, like I know both of them. I usually don't text my boy's wife without attaching him to the text. I text them both. If I'm calling, I call them both. So there is no like,
Right.
there's no weirdness, there's no overlap. Me and Ty talked about this before. If I come to your house, it's like I don't go inside your house. At the the front step is
if the man's not home.
if
Yeah.
the man. Oh,
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even the man's not home. Like I'm not coming inside.
Right.
It's none of that. And then like you said, the second layer is I respect you as my friend to not do anything that would make the other side feel weird or feel. So for me, yes, there's two levels of friendship or boundaries that are set, right? So I have female friends that are not married, that don't have boyfriends or whatever, and it's still the same thing as like you don't cross certain boundaries. Like, hey, we speak. It's usually like not after like the old cell phone rules, like not after a certain
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Like it's like
True.
not after a certain time. I mean, obviously, unless it's like something like important going on, like hey,
Right.
like I need like a favor or something exigent,
Yeah.
something like that, right? But on a normal basis, like I don't text you like at 11 o'clock at night. Hey, what's going on?
No.
Hey, whoa, because I mean, Ty talked about this before. I've learned because sometimes aging and getting older, right? Learning how people kind of like, especially the difference between men and women, how they perceive um, different acts, and we're like, sometimes I'm just being generous. I'm just being nice, which could be taken like, oh, like, oh, whatever. And like, it's got me in.
Ooh, he
You know what I'm saying?
likes me.
Exactly. It's got me in some trouble before, like, oh, you feel a certain way. And
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
How'd that happen?
Like, whoa, wait, what? Well, and I'm like looking back at myself, like, what did I do? What did I miss? Like, what's going on?
And your female friend goes, let me tell you what you missed.
Exactly. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I could see how that could be a problem. Yes. So, yeah, but that's why it's good to have female friends. I could tell you, hey, when you bought her dinner the other night? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was being generous because I invited,
She
right?
didn't
So
think that.
I
She was
invited
like, he
everybody.
likes me.
Oh, he bought my dinner. Was this a date?
Yep.
No, it wasn't. But
Yeah.
so I think yes, the answer is yes, but I think there's some boundaries
Yeah.
that have to be kind of like navigated with that for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ty's gonna say no.
I want to say no so bad, but I think the way that you guys have all outlined it, yes, again, it shouldn't be an immediate like broad. I wouldn't say broad brush. Yeah, of course, absolutely. No, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. And
Okay.
for me, but see, I'm hearing you guys talk. I don't make friends easy. I don't. It's very hard, and for you to be considered a close friend means that I don't know. There's a trust, and there's just a lot that goes into it. And when I say that, I think I have 2 female friends, Mo. 2, that's it. And, again, I know their husbands very well, and even with you, because we have a business relationship, I was like, I can't remember if I actually we both I talked to Frank about it. I can't remember it was like in a I was like, listen, because for me, sometimes I did, especially in the beginning, I was texting you at like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night because something was going on or I booked something, the madness that was occurring at the time when
Right.
when I didn't know how to do everything. And I was like, I don't ever want to cross that. I was like, I'll shut the whole fucking thing down. So, I mean, that's how important it is
Right.
for me. Yeah, that's a hard one because, but again, BJ and I have talked about it. Like, there's rules. Like, if I came home and some dude, even if it was BJ, just laying up on my couch and my wife was getting him something to drink, I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no. And now
That's one of
reverse
the
it. What if it was
lines.
her friend that it was whatever? I'm like, get the what?
Nope.
See what I'm saying? There's got to be some lines there.
That's
Yeah.
one of the lines. Like,
I don't
even
think
if
I've ever been to your house, Mo, without Frank being there. I'm trying to think. I
No.
don't think there was ever a time.
It's not appropriate.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Why
what.
would we? But I'm trying to think.
And
And we work
my
together.
thing is, people
Yeah.
know, like, there's a handful of my male friends I love dearly. If there was something wrong, you or BJ could call me in the middle of the night. and I'd roll over and say, Frank, we got to go help them.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it is. Because my assumption is when you
Yeah.
call me, you're calling for him too.
Exactly.
But there is a line, like if I had a male friend that was calling my house, hey, I was just calling to chit chat at 11 o'clock at night, I'd be like, you can't do that. I would tell him the first time with the assumption of maybe no one's ever told him. You can't do that. I'm married. My husband, that challenges him in the role that he's in.
In his
And then the
time, though.
next
That's
time,
his time. Yeah.
right. Then the next time I'd be like, hey man, I don't think you're getting it.
As a
So
matter of fact, let me put my husband on the phone.
hold on. Frank want to talk to you real
Explain
fast.
to this man why this ain't right.
But I would and I would never, if I flew up to see Tyler where you live and I got there and your wife was not home, I'm hanging out to the airport till she gets there.
Yeah, nah.
Right.
It's
So I
not
wouldn't do that. Yeah. Well, the other thing this is because I've talked to significant. I don't know how we want to talk about that, but whatever. It's like, are you cool? Because like when you call, she's right here. I just go, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, oh hey, I gotta
no.
step out on the deck. I gotta go to the basement. Like, nah, bro, it
no.
ain't none of that.
Right,
Now,
right.
I will
No.
say sometimes BJ's like, hey, bro, I need to talk to you about something private. I'm like, oh, okay, hey, it's BJ. She's like, ugh.
That's a difference.
That's a dude. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but see but that's the point. But sometimes it's like, oh, but we're both friends. I'm like, nah, bro, you can't.
Nope.
There's still a difference. So see what I'm trying to say? It's like it's not a blank. I don't think a guy can have a girlfriend in the same capacity that he has a guy friend. Like I would never say Mo's just one of the guys. It ain't like
Nope.
that.
Yeah, it's
It's
different.
not.
It's just
And
not.
if I called you, the assumption if I called you and said, Tyler, I need some, I'm about to burn the house down, so I need to
Yeah.
run this by you real fast.
Yeah.
I assume that means that your wife is also getting the rundown because
Yeah.
that's the way
Oh,
it
yeah,
should
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's not. There's no private conversations between me and Tyler.
I
No.
literally just wrote down a question to piggyback off that, Mo. It says
Yeah.
what? Because I saw this meme, right? And I just always assume this, especially with some of my friends that I know that well, I guess all my friends are married, but I know how tight their relationship is. So like when I talk to certain friends, I know I'm not just saying it to him. I know I'm saying it to the both of them, right? Unless I specifically say, hey, bro, this is a private thing. Like I really want to like run this by you, like But even then,
Right.
I kind of like in the back of my mind, like you gotta talk right? So I'm like, so look, my question is, what do you keep private, or are there things you keep private when it comes to conversations with it could be anybody, other friends, other family? Like, do you keep anything? I guess not necessarily from, right? Because for example, this is the mind frame that I'm asking the question from, right? I right? I said if you call me or one of you guys call me and say, hey, I need to talk, I need to run something by you, whatever, right? I'm assuming you're talking to me about it and it stays between us. I don't feel the need to like with anything. Like I'm not gonna go and like, hey, guess what, so and so. Like I'm not a gossip, right? Most people are like, hey, most people will never be like, hey, BJ said you never heard me talk to you about another person.
No.
Ever. Because I don't do that.
I love you. I
You
love
gonna
you
go
so much,
first?
BJ. But you're
Go
not
ahead.
married, bro.
That's
It's different.
why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
In your role right now,
Yeah.
100%, that's correct.
Yeah.
As soon as you got a Mrs. BJ, nah, bro. I mean, I would trust. I'm like, BJ, this is for me and you. But yeah, to your point,
in the back of my
small
mind,
part
like,
of me, if your girl's like, yo, what was that about? I assume you're gonna. I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
well, okay, well,
And
follow
let
up.
me answer too.
Would you go into detail, or would you just say, hey, what was that about? Ty got some shit going on, whatever,
Yeah.
like whatever. But would you like, yeah,
I'll
kick that to Mo. Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead, Mo.
I'll chime in. For me, when I got married, I'm one.
Mhm.
So he knows what I know. If at any point, especially if I was talking to one of my male friends, because I have had male friends in crisis who have called me, and he knows because he has female friends too, and he's had female friends in crisis, and I am fine with him being there for them. But the minute I or he hangs the phone up, if he says, "What's going on?" I'm gonna tell him as much as he needs to know
Okay.
to feel comfortable.
Okay.
Because
Fair enough.
I've always lived by the creed that nobody will ever know anything that Frank doesn't know, because nobody will ever be able to surprise him.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know about? Oh, I never want him to go, oh no, I
Mm.
didn't. Never, ever, ever.
Mm.
Whatever his threshold is, if I say, and in many cases he'll be like, oh, you don't have to tell me all that, because we do have that level of trust.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, BJ called and he's upset because, this is going on at work, or he's upset because this is going on with him and his girl. If he stops and he's fine with that, then it stops. If he says, well,
Right.
what did he mean by that? Or what, I'm telling him as
Fair
much as
enough.
he needs to know to make him
Mm.
comfortable. And that goes for any of my relationships, really. I will say I talk to my sister all the time. So he rarely is like caring about what we're talking about, because he's like,
Exactly.
God damn, they talking again, whatever. But if he asked me, like there have been times where we've been talking about my niece or nephew,
Mhm.
and he's like, hey, is everything okay? Oh, this is what's going on.
Mm.
And he'll ask questions because he's invested.
Yeah.
And I give him whatever he wants to know because he's my husband. And nobody trumps that relationship.
Absolutely. I would say I think too, like I'm kind of like I was in the position like BJ for a while. All of my friends are with their high school sweethearts, pretty much, except like one, but she was with him for a long time. So I always was around couples and knew that like husband knew what was going on. And because of that, kind of was like, I guess that's my version of having a male friend, especially one that we really came up with. Um, what my best friend, one of my best friend knew, he knows too. You know what I'm saying? And I know in some ways you could feel the vibe, especially if it was something like hurtful, like the vibe of being like, you okay? I had heard. You all right?
You all right?
That
You
ex,
good?
you done with that ex? Cause I know. But with that being said, I do think that those conversations do need to be open. And maybe I would say maybe there would be a time period and maybe special and especially I don't know when it comes to like the co-ed friendship in a sense, I would say let them know what's going on. But maybe if there's something like going on, like, well, hey, I'm having this really huge crisis, I just don't want anybody to know about it at this moment. But I won't say I ever have been in that position or even expected my friends to be in that position of not like letting their significant other know. I maybe because I'm kind of an open book person too. I just assume that when I talk to my best friend, she talked to her husband, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's already known. And I don't take it any way because those are people who I also consider as family and friends too. So it's like, and sometimes I would say maybe homeboy talking to his wife might give some good counsel to be like, oh, well, tell him this. I know he ain't gonna tell me, but girl, boy, tell him this.
Yeah.
Cause that's what's gonna work. And then you just realize you have a team behind you.
Mhm.
So,
Tyler?
BJ, what I'm thinking, remember when we were talking about the weight of saying vows, of the vows,
Yes.
how it changed from going from a relationship to a marriage? I think
Yes.
one of the things is this: that your marriage, right? That
Mhm.
relationship is special above all others.
Oh,
Even, and
yeah.
I know, Mo, even with that above your children, because your
Yes.
kids gonna leave, bro.
Yeah.
Yes. They're supposed
They're
to.
supposed to. Yeah.
That's the
Facts.
most
That's
special
facts.
relationship you have. Period. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this
This falls under one of those things like
this falls under
yeah.
one of those things, bro. The wife is different, bro.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The girlfriend is different too.
I agree with you. It's just
Yeah.
like it's just like
It's
when you were
wild.
talking.
I don't know why that changed, but it
Mhm.
is. It is a change,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just sparked the question
And
when you said that. I was like, I wonder if there's any like I can see barriers. Sounds bad. Has a negative connotation. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's like
yeah.
like if obviously me and Todd we talk all the time, right? But if you were like if this is like a man thing, right? And we're having like men talk, I'd be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? I was like, Todd going through some shit. We had a man conversation about it, blah blah blah, whatever, right? Like Kasha said, that would probably be like the barrier of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we did talk about
Right.
this. He's got some shit going on. Me and him were working it out, whatever, right? But if it was like, oh, Mo called and he got this going on, I was like, I'd be like, actually, let me run this by you real quick. So you're not, like you said,
Right.
Mo, like, so you're not, it doesn't make it seem like I'm
Absolutely.
hiding something, like you said, that to make it seem like this other woman has a different, more like a closer relationship than you do. You never
Right.
want to. So I 100% understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. I get you.
Yeah.
Well, Mo is in a different spot, but this is me kind of asking Mo to you, Kasha. It's a weird trail, but hold on, because I'm in a
Okay.
different spot now. I had this issue when I was a deputy and on the street because there was a lot of shit I didn't feel like I could tell my wife or my kids. Still to this day, I can't. Or it's not that I can't. It's like, do you want to hear about child abuse and sexual assaults on elderly and kids, like little kids? Do you want to hear that? Probably
Right.
not, right? Probably not.
Right.
But it's in here, and sometimes I got to get it out. And so I will call BJ. So Mo's also different for me, and I think she was a mentor first before a friend. Personally, I mean, that's how I viewed you, whether you knew that or not.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I've
And
heard now on the podcast.
so that's still how my brain goes. But I guess my point, and this is me kind of bank shotting off Mo to you, Kasha, because I don't know how you would handle that. Like if it's like, hey, this is something real traumatic and real awful. It didn't happen to me, but it's in my brain and it does affect me. But I don't want to traumatize you by telling you.
I will say this. There's one particular one, and it's funny. The very same one that was the first hard situation Monique ever went through, and seeing death and a crazy situation. That was the one. And I was a kid, though. Monique started we have an age gap. I was a kid and I overheard her discussing this situation, and it stuck with me because in that particular situation, this woman died protecting her child. Oh, and I remember coming back to Monique after like a week and saying, "Oh, I can't get that out of my head." And she's like, "Well," and it's funny because I know as an adult, she was like protecting me. So she was like, "Hey, you have to understand life moves on, and it was sad, but we got to let that go." Later on, I realized that was one that really stuck with her. So that was the one that kind of stuck with me. Even though I'm a person, I talk about my brain, I imagine every single thing that has ever been said to me. There's nothing you can say to me that my brain doesn't come up with an image for constantly, right? But I can now, maybe because I grew up being near law enforcement, being Monique needing to like bounce off a couple things here and there, and I'm sure not everything. I can separate those things mentally. So that first one, I was, but I was a kid. I was like 11. But as time was going on, even as a teenager, I was able to, Monique's like, whoops.
I just realized that was a bad choice.
Even as a teenager, I was able to, but I don't think, yeah, it was just you were a fresh deputy. You had to figure it out. And honestly, you were talking to mom. You weren't talking to me. And I was being a nosy child in your business. So the thing of it is, from that one, I can compartmentalize. And I don't know if that's everybody. I don't know if that's everybody's relationship where every wife or every sister or every brother or cousin or mom and dad can actually compartmentalize. I can hear that and it's very awful. I can receive it and understand that it's a very awful thing that has happened, but I now from that situation do not keep it with me. Unless I was involved, I wouldn't keep it with me.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was talking to my buddy Chris, who I've known since I was 14. And this wasn't even like a horrific story. I thought it was funny, but I was telling him the story in front of his 4 kids.
Jesus.
And they were young. And I'm like, dude, we were going after this robber. He robbed a bunch of people like at gunpoint. And I said, I kicked the door in, stepped in dog shit, fell down. They had to drag me out. Like I was laughing about it. And he called me the next day. He goes, hey man, I love your stories, but we're gonna have to keep those private. My kids, you scared the shit out of them. They think people are out here trying to rob them and break into their house. And I was like,
shit.
What?
I was like, I was like in my head, I'm like, this is a funny story. This wasn't even like one of the really bad ones, but just that. Again, I was, it wasn't the space I'm in. Yeah, I was laughing, and they're horrified, like it was a clown, hiding under their bed type story. I'm like, oh my god.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoops.
My bad.
Whoopsie.
Oopsies.
True story, by the way. But yeah.
So I do
And
have
I think
a.
that's one of those things that to navigate those relationships around you, because there might be other people, like I said, maybe because I kind of grew into that, I was able to compartmentalize. I can look at it and objectively look at it and say, wow, that's really sad. I could see it, but I don't receive it and keep it with me at night. I don't keep nothing with me at night. I keep stuff with me all during the day anyways, but that's a whole other conversation.
If you were married to a cop, is it acceptable then for him to confide in his own partner because he doesn't want to traumatize you? Kasha?
Oh, you're talking to me. Okay. I feel like
I'm not gonna have no husband, so
I ain't gonna have no husband either.
you show no. Well, I feel like this because of the personality I have, and it would come at maybe a higher rate when you live with a husband. Like you say, a husband and wife is a different story. Even though we're sisters, we talked a lot. It's different. You're in the house day in and day out. If I see you kind of moping around about something, that might affect me different. But as I am now, I think I could handle that story and see it objectively in that sense. But and that depends. Like, yeah, maybe you could bleed off, but it's a fine line, because sometimes that zone partner, like, oh, my zone partner is so funny, let me tell her all this stuff. That's a whole nother thing. And so, that's a whole other thing. So it depends. It depends on the and this is something I was going to circle back to in the first question, where you were saying that, like, can men and women be friends? I think this goes along with this. It's a personality thing. Not every man and woman can be friends based on their personality. Just, you got to know you. You can be like, I'm a whore, and every time I see a penis or a vagina, I don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know you. So if you can't be friends, back it up. So you got to know you. So it's the same thing. Like, if you have your zone partner and you could separate and say, hey, I really think she was there. She knows what it was like, or she's seen something the same way. I could talk to her about this situation. Maybe I'll circle back and give my wife the light version of it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know if you're a whore, and maybe you might think, you know what? She really be listening to me. I like how she be listening. I wonder what does she listen to?
Oh,
yeah.
Or when she brings you some sandwiches on them Hawaiian rolls.
That's true.
Ma'ams.
What are you doing?
Tyler, stop eating cans of green beans for lunch. You need to eat a real sandwich.
Yeah, bro, get out of here, bro. Idiot.
I have a question. Yeah. Did you ever cook for your zone partners, Monique? Like, and be like, I brought this, friends?
Because he needed it. That was different.
Well, here's why.
Different. He needed it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. Because he was going through some stuff that was taxing him mentally. So he was eating green beans out of a can. And I was like, right. What are you doing? Bro, I'm going to bring you some food. This is crazy.
It's full of it.
So.
Yeah, BJ walked to my house. He's like, why do you have a 4-pack of eggs? I didn't even know they sold 4 eggs.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Kasha, I would crack the green beans and I would just drink the juice and then I would eat them. And they would both be looking at me and I'm like, I'm just like, I'm in my own brain. I didn't realize how
crazy it was.
Affected I was. Because I'm just like, I was just like, I need to eat something. And so that's what it was.
Wow.
So
dumb, bro.
To answer your question, yes, he needed to be fed because he was losing his mind. And on top of it, he wasn't eating well. So I said, bro, I'm going to cook for you because that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary.
And I can't remember. I want to say I was dating Frank at the time.
Oh, yeah. No, you definitely were. Yeah.
I told him, Tyler is losing his mind. This is what he did. And he's like, yeah, you need to cook for that man. That's ridiculous.
He needs some help. He needs some help.
He's in a bad spot.
He needs some help. He needs some milk.
I have never heard of that meal in my life.
4-pack.
It wasn't a meal. It was just survival.
Just have a can.
Gosh, I was in a bad spot. And maybe one day we'll talk about it. Not right now. But I lost like 80 pounds. I would get home from work, sleep and wake up, and sometimes I'd wake up late for work. Like I would sleep all day.
Oh wow.
And on my days off, sometimes I'd sleep the whole day. And I'd have to like really think about what day it was because I was already into the next. Like it was just bad like that.
For those of you who don't know, this is
I
what
wasn't
depression
eating. Like
looks
that's
like.
the thing. I was eating Yeah.
for sure. I feel, and I
Anywho.
will tell you in all honesty, to this day, if I had a friend that was in a spot like that, male or female, I would tell my husband, I would make food, and we would
Yeah.
take it to them.
Yeah.
And he would
Yeah,
know
yeah,
all the
yeah.
way what the steps that we were doing
Yeah.
because as we talked about in our previous episode, I'm a lover of people. And
Yeah.
and especially when it comes to cooking for people, I love cooking for people.
Mhm.
But when I see somebody that they're hurting like that, if I can get them to
Mhm.
talk to me through food, I don't know what BJ's laughing about, but we'll come back to that.
He
I'm
knows
gonna
what he's
do it.
laughing at because I don't love all people. But go ahead, Mo. Go ahead. We've had this conversation. That's
Wait,
why he's laughing.
no. When I say I'm a lover of people, don't
Yeah.
misconstrue. I don't
No,
love all
I know.
people. The
Yeah, yeah.
people that I love, I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
love, and I love taking
Right.
care of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
helping them. I love being there for them. If you listen
This is
to
taking
our
BJ
last
out.
episode,
Yeah.
if you listen to our last episode, we talked about different types of love, and
Yeah.
that was one of the things I talked about is my love
Yeah.
for my friends. So he was in a
Yeah.
bad spot. I did cook for him, but my husband knew every step of the way that I was cooking for him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't my husband, I don't even think at the time, but he
No.
was still the man in my life, and I was going to make sure that he knew this is what was going on and this is why I'm cooking for him. BJ,
Nah,
go
he
ahead,
was
man.
y'all were living together, and that's when he had the white undershirt with this red silk do-rag. That's the status.
Kasha, never did that happen.
That sounds so unfrank.
Wait,
Disfrank,
now
non-frank.
hang
No,
on.
ma'am.
Hang on.
No, ma'am.
I do have to admit,
Yeah.
he did always wear an undershirt.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
And how do I know
Always.
about the red silk do-rag? Why do I
He
know
never
that?
wore a
What?
red silk do-rag.
Ma'am, BJ,
You're a
do you have
liar.
BJ's the repository. He has the photo.
the
He
do-rag
has
did-
the photo, Mo.
the
Don't
do-rag-
play with us.
What's this?
the do-rag did
Yes.
happen. Yes.
Yes, it
Oh my
did.
gosh, this is real.
Oh, this is a real thing.
The do-rag did happen. The do-rag
Oh, it
happened.
did.
It's a real story.
We gotta go back though. We gotta go back.
It was my
Why was
screensaver.
Why was BJ
Oh
in?
my God.
Go ahead, BJ. Go ahead. It was.
Why was BJ in tears? Like we were talking about a very serious thing.
I
Like,
know.
oh, people could be depressed and
I
really
know.
sad. And he's like, ah. Like, what is going on?
I was trying to hold it in. But Mo
Why, BJ?
Mo was talking about food. And all I could think about, she's like, I like to cook with people. All I think, she over here making yeast rolls inside of yeast rolls.
So years ago, another friend of mine, we were talking and we were, we were always trying to be healthy and take care of ourselves. And said friend says, yes, I'm trying to be good, this, that, and the other, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I could take a yeast roll and put it inside a yeast roll and crush it. And I told these two idiots that story. And it never. So now, anytime all of us are always trying to work out and be healthy, we're like, tell you what, though, I could put a yeast roll inside of a yeast roll.
That's immediately what I thought. I was trying to hold it in. I'm sorry.
I love when people be tickled. That kills me. And you know what's funny? And it's funny because I feel like that's something that would not happen in a female friendship. Like there is no circumstance where my friends could be talking about something serious that happened or anyway, and I could get caught up in some funny thing. Like I'd have to leave the table because they'll be like, "You gotta go. This bitch is crazy. Is she crazy?" But I have noticed, and I know, like, the funny thing is, like, I have really close best friendships, but Terrence has really close best friendships. And they rag on each other all day, honey, all day. And it's so crazy because they'll be talking about something that had happened serious, and they find the funny little piece in there, like, oh, you remember that, though? And you're like, that wasn't, like, that wasn't funny.
Male relationships are so different like that.
You know what? You know what? Hold on. Actually, BJ, hold on, bro. Correct me. I don't think we have that kind of friendship. I don't think we rag on each other like that.
No.
I do have friendships where, it's, well, I'm not even safe to say what we say.
Yeah, exactly. I was
on the camera. I wouldn't say it out loud.
I was like, let me filter this real quick.
Yeah. There's things, I do have those, but BJ and I are not like that.
No, I don't
That's
think so.
good.
Yeah, we don't bring each other down.
Am I right, bro?
Yeah, you're right. We don't do that. Yeah.
We really don't. It's not like that.
Yeah.
That's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Wow,
Almost
they
all
got
my
a
other
positive
friendships are like that.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no.
interesting.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
That is
Mm-mm.
interesting.
Mm-mm.
So we spent a lot of time on this like male female co-ed friendships.
I have another follow-up
So
before we get
oh,
off
you
of
have a
that. I have a
follow-up.
follow-up we get
Yeah,
off
I
of
Go
have
that.
ahead.
questions too.
For
I got
for
y'all
Oh,
captured now. So go
specifically
ahead.
specifically for the ladies. Because me and
Yeah.
Ty
okay.
me and Ty talked about this on our little mini series, right?
Please.
We talked one of the things we talked about was and for those of you that don't know, the little mini series we did was essentially coming from a place of like things that young men need to know, right? So this is kind of like a conversation between us, like what do we wish we knew when we were 16, 17, 18, about to enter the world? What information, what knowledge do we wish we had as, adult men now as young men? One of them was don't talk to women about your problems, right? That one specifically. So my question is for both of you is how does your man talking about his problems affect how you view him? Like, is there what is the sweet spot for that?
Little caveat. Is it different than when you were dating as opposed to being married? That's it. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. And I think this is where we might differ. Like you said, don't talk to women about your problems. I feel like we crave that understanding and connection. Like I would want to know what is your plight
When you're
because
dating? When you're dating?
I mean, it depends on where we are in dating because I mean, like maybe month 2, I don't want to hear all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't come at me.
That's kind of the point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But when you say, like you said, when you get to, like we got kids, we got a house and things like that, I want to know what's going on at work that's affecting your mind. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know. And even if you're dating and you've been dating for like a year and a half, what men don't understand is that you still react to your problems. You just are not saying it. So sometimes y'all might sit there and be like, I'm not gonna tell her nothing. I ain't gonna tell her nothing. But then you just sitting there quiet. You just sitting there funny acting. You go, oh babe, what's wrong? Nothing.
Nothing.
And so nothing.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like that woman would want to know where you are and maybe help you through that. I think one thing that men do that is aggravating as all get out is not share because I mean it's not natural to y'all. Like it's not natural to y'all to be like, oh, this is how I'm feeling today. But to us, I feel like I would want to know what's your plight at work? What's your plight in life? What's going on? What about the plans with the house that is getting on your nerves? What about this remodel is getting on your nerves? Whatever it is, I feel like we do need to have those conversations and we do need to see like, sometimes like there's big life decisions. You want to make big changes and you feel like I can't really discuss this. So
At what
in a
point?
situation where
At what point though do you start to look at him differently with those problems or complaints or sharing?
where I am now, like I will never look at him differently. We have children, we have a home together. Like I will never look at him differently, even if he's at his lowest. There's nothing that's going to make me look at him and say, oh, what a weak man. I would prefer him to let me know what's hurting him, what's stressing him, what's angering him, than to be in a position where I don't, or even if he put on a face for me, even if he's been faking and being like, I'm all right, and forcing something, I would rather know what you're going through and help you through that than to sit here and let you struggle internally and think you got to put on a facade for me. So that's my take. Go ahead, Monique. I'm sorry.
No, I think that you keep saying, when do we start looking at you differently? I think that your different has a negative connotation
Yes.
and our different does
Mm,
not.
mm,
I start looking at him differently when I feel like he is confiding in me. So therefore, I feel like we have an opportunity to build something. So,
mm.
like she said, at 2 months, nah, bro, I don't want to hear about what happened your bad day. We still having fun. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep you. So, like
You
real
still on
talk,
Sunday nights.
you a Sunday night date still. So, but when you've moved into that next phase of dating and we are seriously dating or seriously considering a future together, it tells me that if you can talk to me about what's going on in your world, that we have the opportunity to build something together. Because, like I have always said, and this I said in another episode, I love living life with my husband. I don't, and when I say life, it doesn't mean, oh, I loved living when we were high on the horse and we were making a bunch of money. And I loved living with him when money was tight. I loved living with him when I was like, hey, baby, I got these ramen noodles and I got some garlic and I'm about to do it up, baby. Let me tell you, I loved living
And
life
yeast
with
rolls.
him
And yeast
and
rolls.
yeast rolls,
Yeast
baby.
rolls. With 4 pack of eggs.
Don't forget the green
But
beans.
and the can of green beans, popping it open.
It's a terrible
But
meal,
I
goddamn.
feel like the guy who doesn't let me in,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna let
Yeah.
him in either. I
Mm-mm.
don't have any reason to then try to build something with him because he has clearly let me know that the trust that he has with me only goes so far. So if we are 6, 7, 8 months into it and
Mhm.
he still has that 2 month wall up,
Mhm.
then okay, we're still at 2 months. And that means you a Sunday
Yeah,
night date and I'm gonna
Mhm.
start moving somebody else into Friday and Saturday nights.
Well,
exactly.
here's where the
You
question.
know?
Here's where the. Go ahead, Kasha.
I would say if you're exclusive, you might want to look into be like, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing I say about the team. If you got a football team and you dating everybody, we don't have to share problems. But if you're exclusive, we need
It's
to
true.
talk and be like, hey, I'm actually going through this. Now you gotta that's when you're testing and gauging how does she receive that? How does he receive me sharing these things about myself? You gotta recognize maybe if you are a mess, maybe you're
Mhm.
not ready to be dating. If you're a mess where like everything is a problem, every day you got a problem, that maybe it's not time to date. But if it's
Yeah.
something where it's like, hey, I could tell her I had a tough time or something broke me down,
Mhm.
we're exclusive and monogamous. So that's a different story. So
Well, here's where we get that from. Here's a male perspective.
mm,
I think most men are have learned over time to not do this because of that. So at some point, it's come back to bite us, right?
mm,
Because
Mm.
women. Okay, so between men, there's always a threat of violence. Okay, there's always that threat of violence between men. Right? Say the wrong thing, you might get hit in the mouth. Right?
damn.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's always that respect between men because we know it can get physical at some point
Mhm.
if it comes down to it, right? So you learn
Yeah,
to
I
BJ
know.
and I talked about fighting each other. I was
yeah.
like,
Oh,
I don't
that's
know who
deep.
would win, but we
It
both
won't.
gonna be hurt a
It won't
lot.
be. It won't be fun, right? So there will
Won't be
Right.
fun.
be.
I
There's
love it.
some consequences that come from not being
Oh
on your
yeah,
p's
yeah,
and q's, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Women, it's
That's
different,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at any women like I don't raise my voice at all anyway, right? But I don't hit women. I
Mm-hmm.
don't raise my voice, and I don't do any of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've learned because we have burned over time that we've learned that women get to us by their words, right?
For
So
sure.
you can
So you
speak,
Yeah.
tell them your problem,
you
and
tell them
then
your
3 months
problems,
later, 6 months later, they're like, "Boom, you a punk bitch anyway
blah
because
blah blah. So
you
you
bring
see
it
what I'm
up."
saying? And what and like it's like, what can you do about that? There's nothing you can do about that, but so learn the
You're
lesson
right.
and be like, so it's like, and that's why I ask, at what point does me having issues or whatever, like you said, obviously it's the nature of the relationship, the time frame of the relationship, and that's I guess I was framing it in from that point of view of when does my complaining or issues um, give the um, give the perception of incompetence, right? You're not a competent man. You're not a safe man to be around. You have problems. You can't handle your things. At what point do you feel unsafe around this man who's always having problems? He's upset. He's crying. Oh, I can't
Oh,
do it. Oh, woe is me. Like, I guess we're
I
asking from that point of view, like, when does that start to change by him?
I think there's a difference between complaining and then issues.
Well,
That
yes.
those
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
those are two different
Different.
things. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that if you have somebody like that's at the level where every day is a problem, like Kasha said, maybe you're not prepared to be in a relationship and you need to do some work on you. Maybe you need to go to counseling. But and I'm not saying counseling is just because, oh, you have a problem, because I think a lot
Mhm.
of people, counseling is something that can help you through a myriad of times. But I think that if you're at a place where your depression has taken hold, anxiety has taken hold, those things like that, there is a place that I still say you should be able to lean on your woman,
Mhm.
but then
Yeah.
there's a place where she should be driving you to other avenues to get some additional support and create additional coping mechanisms for it. Does that mean that at any point I bail? I don't bail, and you're not unsafe to me. until you become a threat to me. And you being human and having human problems and having human suffrage is not something that is unsafe for me. That doesn't feel unsafe for me because I feel like as women, I have problems. I have suffrage. There are times where I'm down. There are times that I'm going to be crying. But very similarly, I think there needs to be a point where Frank says, babe, you have cried for 10 days.
10 minutes.
And if it's not something that sidebar from losing someone that is super important to you, or you've cried for 10 days, now we've got to figure out a coping mechanism together. Or I need to funnel you to some place where you can find a coping mechanism. So that answers the one thing you said. The other thing, when you were saying about I would say, for me, let me just say that. For me, it's not an unsafe look for a man to be upset. It's not an unsafe look for him to be in a place where he's down, especially if it's warranted. Now, I will say, going back to one thing you said too, women's mouths are diabolical. We don't punch men in the mouth. So what we do is we do it with this. It is wild, the things that we will say. But I think that there's a place too where, as my husband, he needs to sit me down and say, listen, your mouth was reckless when you said this, this, and this, and that's not okay in our relationship. And if I don't correct that, then that is where it's not up to me to pull the plug. It's up to him, because that is not a woman that you want in your life. Because you should not take the things that your significant other, your husband, your spouse, the person that you are in a long-term relationship with, and use them even in anger, because that tells me you have a person that's out of control.
Yeah. I will say two things is that if, like you said, if you're not ready, if you have a lot of things going on in one end, sometimes you got to focus on you. But if you have not disrespected someone, you have not called them out of their name, you have not done those things to them, and they did it to you, there's some evaluating that has to be getting done. Because if I tell you something and be like, I'm real insecure about how big my feet is, and you bring up how big my feet is, damn right I'm going to talk about your head, okay?
Like, oh,
So
word?
that's what, it'd be like, your head is big, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but then you want to be funny. But the thing of it is, like, if there's no disrespect there, and this person was like, maybe you're just literally having a disagreement or a misunderstanding, and that's something that easily comes up, and was like, oh, and that's why, when you was complaining about being a punk ass bitch at that job,
Like,
then there's some evaluating. Then you got to look at it and be like, wait, I didn't disrespect you. Like, why is this? So you got to evaluate if that's even your person. So that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I mean, that's something that to me there shouldn't. And as a woman who I feel like has some, I mean, I'm crazy as hell, but I have some sense of being grounded as a person. I crave having that closeness with Terrence, like my common law husband, because we hippies. I'm sorry, I didn't know if y'all knew that, but
Listen to the last episode; she'll tell you all about
yeah,
it.
we are hippies. We're Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. But point of it is, like, we do live our life together. But point of it is that I crave that. I crave that connection of knowing what's really bothering him, what's going on inside, what's churning inside him. Because y'all think y'all are really good at disguising it. Like, I ain't gonna tell her what's going on, but you're sitting there looking like,
no, I'm just not gonna tell you.
and it's like, what you do? Tell me so we can work this out together. And that's the thing. Sometimes, and just like Monique said, I will share problems with Terrence because I need him to shake me away. I need that testosterone to get me right and be like, listen, I mean, that's something, but it ain't what you're trying to make it. And so in the same way, if a woman is listening to you, she shouldn't look at you in the sense and saying like, oh, you're weak for disliking that or not having an issue with that. She should be counseling you through that. That's the point of that. Whether she's a girlfriend or she's a common law hippie or a legal wife, like she should, look at you in that way. So I don't think there should be any point where she should look at you weak or a difference or not a man like that. That to me, that's honestly, to me, I think that builds like this closeness. Anything that Terrence has shared with me, and I know the rest of the world doesn't have, is like, that's our bond. Everybody else might feel like they know him, but they don't know him like I know him. So
Right.
I feel like that, yeah.
Sorry. Are you like CeeLo Green hippie with like the dashiki or like Bob Marley hippie?
I'm every hippie you could think of. What you
Okay.
mean?
All right.
Any hippie you can think of. Like, we out here living life and in the stars picking flowers. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but I just that's where my brain went. I don't know.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
The last episode, we talked about the differences of the relationships that we have in our lives. So you got to hear how her and Terrence hippie too close to the sun.
Yeah,
like
too close to the sun.
All right,
14 years too close to the sun.
I like it.
That is true.
I got 3 things real quick.
What's up?
First of all, I found the book because I was trying to find. That's me and Lawrence. We're in Africa.
You do look like white chocolate on there. I
Hey,
can see
You
it.
do.
that's the book.
That's
I
great.
like that. That's like a good book.
Who's that made out to?
White chocolate.
White chocolate.
Hey.
With well, that's a thick exclamation point too.
It was.
Yeah. He colored that
you know
in.
what? I've had some of the most romantic dinners with that man in Germany, Switzerland, Africa. When I say
Pause.
Africa, Ghana, Zambia, Tanzania.
It's
Pause.
amazing.
BJ
BJ said
bro, it was
pause.
romantic as
Pause.
shit.
Pause.
Pause.
No, I know he said romantic. I was like, okay.
I didn't say
Whatever.
intimate. I said romantic.
I love that.
I mean,
romance is a female thing.
help him out,
That hurts
BJ.
my feelings, BJ. How many times we had cigars on the back deck, bro?
Yeah,
Next to the fire.
That's
That
not
ain't romantic.
That's not romantic. Men don't.
Nah, you
men,
wrong,
men
bro.
don't do romantic things.
He said we didn't have a romantic cigar. What are you talking about?
Well, I had this. I made the statement the other day, and I got some pushback for it. I said all romance is only things centered around female pleasure.
That is
I
true.
really disagree with that a lot, but go
Really?
ahead.
Wait, elaborate. Elaborate.
Yeah, please.
I agree.
Romance is only.
Wait, me or BJ? I disagree with
BJ.
BJ. That's crazy.
BJ, elaborate, and then I'm gonna tell you why I agree, and then
Because
Kasha and
when you say romantic, right? It's usually only things that are centered around female experience to bring a woman pleasure and make her feel special.
That
There is
BJ, I
no
know you lying, bro, because I know you.
romantic things
pounded on
are
his desk.
for women. They're for women. They're for women.
I am going to concur with BJ on this one, which is rare because I don't always agree with him.
You're both
But
wrong. Because I know BJ too
romance,
well. BJ
men-
likes romance. I don't give a
No.
shit.
And what I'm saying,
we say like flowers in their house.
and what I'm saying is,
candy.
romance is for the pleasure of women.
BJ likes ladies. That's why he likes
Yes.
romance.
It ain't for
That's
me.
why.
It's for
Romance is all for bottles of wine, dinners, chocolates. It's all to get to it. You do it for an end goal for men.
You gotta stoke the
But
fire,
he's
bro.
doing that by himself, drinking champagne and strawberries by himself.
First of
No
all,
one-
there's no strawberries in it. I like to drink
also,
champagne.
Kasha, BJ likes to get his feet rubbed, his back scratched.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not
Oh,
necessarily
that's for her
romantic.
That's not
pleasure.
romantic.
That's for her pleasure?
that's not romantic.
That's not romantic.
It's not romantic.
No, I
So
disagree.
you let me do it then?
If
I
I'm
was
getting my
almost
back
on your
scratched,
side, but that's not
yes.
romantic.
Hell no.
Bro, get that back
Hell no.
scratch,
I
scratch my
love you,
back,
bro.
bro.
I ain't doing that.
Bro, scratch my back. Can't reach it, bro. God dang, that's not romance. That's not romance.
Bro,
It's not
bro.
A candlelit
BJ,
dinner. Come
Here's
on,
why it's not romance. BJ, if I handed you a back scratcher, could you stand there for a while
Yeah.
doing that to yourself?
Yes.
It's not
Does it
romantic.
feel the same as when you laying on the bed and your girl get on top of you, she scratch your
Oh,
back
so
for you, bro?
That's not
You missed
romantic.
the part.
You missed you
It is
over
You
I
just
love
added
that
a
shit.
layer.
you added the part. She get on top
You
of you and
added a
start
layer.
Exactly. That's not romantic.
like Cat Williams
Then
said.
what is romantic?
Like, hold on.
Do you want me to spell it out for you?
Please spell it out for him, Kasha.
That is sexy. That is not romantic.
Thank you.
There's certain things. That's a line. That's a line.
Y'all crazy.
Yeah, there's some things
You're
that are like for
crazy.
sex and some things that are for romance. And you're like, oh, not every romantic thing leads to sex. But sexy things
Every
be
time
sexy
you
on their
kiss him in
own.
his back, that's sex. Or every time you rub his feet, that's sex.
It can lead to it.
Every
Probably.
single time.
Probably gonna lead to it. Yeah.
Probably.
That's that comes out of
Yeah.
appreciation. That doesn't come from like, ooh, I'm gonna raise your feet because
Right.
I want you to get that thing ready for me later. Let me rub your feet. No. Candlelit dinner.
I don't know.
Walk on the beach.
Romantic for a girl.
I put petals all over the bed for get out of here.
But
Romantic
Get
for a
outta here.
girl.
look, I agree.
Do girls
I'm
even
kind of
like
like
bed pillows
split
on the
now.
bed? who's gonna clean that up?
Yes,
Well, she
we
is.
do.
Well, she is because I don't clean. But
You are so stupid.
I'm like split though, because I feel like there are things that should be like there should be some like giving towards the man. Like I think romance, a lot of the romance that we know is for women, like, oh, you know, I got flowers and things like that, candies, things like that. But I feel like there should be some things that we should look towards, like what would the man want to feel appreciated? Not necessarily like they don't need the flowers and stuff like that.
That's my question at the time. What is romantic for men?
I guess my definition of romance is different because for me, romance is something that is done throughout. It's almost like I can only compare it. It's like stoking a fire. You want to keep the coals hot daily, all day long, year round, because then when you need that thing to turn up, when you're ready to, you know,
Bruh, if she breathes on you the
walk
right
the
way,
sheep.
the thing's turning on. Stop.
What?
If she
I'm
breathes,
42,
if she breathes on you the
DJ,
right
I'm
way,
42,
that
bro. I
thing's
can't
just
just
get turned up. Get out of here, bro. Get
so
out of
your
here.
girl
No.
works. Nah, see, I think I don't know, bro. Your girl worked 12, 16 hours, and you just like drop that thing like it's hot for
No,
daddy.
I'm talking about
Okay.
you. I'm talking about the other way around. She don't need to do all that to get it right. To get this, she don't need to
It
stoke
don't
the
work
fire
like
for
that
you.
for me. Nah, it don't work like that for me, bro. I'm gonna say that I'm a man.
Well,
if I go long enough, sure. But on a regular routine basis, when you're with the same person every day, all day, nah, bro, there's got to be a little give and take. It ain't just, all right, I'm naked, come hit this. It don't work that way, bro.
Shit.
Again,
I'm naked,
occasionally
come
it
hit
will.
Shit.
Hey, you
I
know
will
what?
say,
Document this, Mo. Document this day. Is when BJ gets married, and I'm like, hey, BJ, is it just pop it like that whenever
Yeah.
she's ready?
Yeah, I'm always hunting that
I
thing.
think, you know, I think when
I know it ain't like that.
when a man sees that you put effort specifically for
Thank you.
him, that
Yes.
that could be romantic. And I would say that in the sense of like, oh, like I know he likes when I get my hair done like this, or when, you know, I know he likes when I wear red. I
Better-
know he likes this kind of thing. Those things maybe I guess I could see as being romantic.
All romance is female centered. Everything you just named is about the female.
Here's what
BJ's
we'll
out
say
here
too.
running around
No,
with-
because I could go and be like, oh, I don't really care about those things. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be like, oh, I don't really want to get, you know, weave in my hair, but he likes the way, you know, having the braids long, and you know what I'm saying? He likes my nails is long, and I could, you know, it's something that he likes. So I think
And
that's
does
romantic.
BJ. And that's what's driving me crazy. If his girl wasn't shaving, let that thing bust out, chip fingernails, smear lipstick, and she's like, I'm naked, come get it. He's like, bro, get out of here.
That's still
She
not.
takes care of
That's still
herself.
not romance. That's still not
It is, bro.
romantic. That's not romantic.
So
That's
the
not
only
romantic.
thing that's romance for you is candles and beach walks.
What I'm saying
that's
is
romance?
what I'm saying is
awful.
romantic things are female centered, meaning the romance. The romance is centered around the pleasure. And here's a better question.
So you get no pleasure out of it either?
The pleasure is I get to get some at the end of the night. You stoking the fire. She don't need to stoke the fire.
But that's not true, bro, because you could take her to McDonald's and still get some.
That's still romantic if she deems it romantic.
Oh, bro, see, you're changing the goal.
Nah,
I'm not changing
right
the
now.
Here's my here's a better question.
I see what he's saying though. If you have a girl who's like, I
if
love
she likes
McDonald's,
that, yes,
that might be romance for her.
That's romance for her.
Here's what I think you guys are confusing. I think you have romance, and I think you have love languages that are different. Like you, Tyler, sound like you like to have that kind of interaction. Like we were talking about, Frank likes physical touch. He likes for me to hold his hand. He likes for me to rub his hair or do those kind of things like that. That's his love language, though. That's not romantic to him, though. That's what tells him that I love him and that I'm paying attention to him. Romance, like Frank would not, he plans our Valentine's days because he likes to plan the romance of it. He plans our anniversaries because he likes to plan the romance of it. But while we're there, I will make sure that I hold his hand and that I do stroke his hair and that I do rub the back of his neck and things like that, because that is his love language. For the romantic part of it, I don't think he cares. Like real talk.
No. The romantic part has nothing to do with me. You're doing shit. I'm doing the shit because I know she likes it.
So we are back because there was a little situation. We had a family emergency. So Kasha and I had to drop out. Thankfully, it was no big deal. Well, it was a big deal, but it wasn't who we thought. So all is well now. So
And
we
the person
wanted to
made it
come
through. They're
back.
good. They're good.
They're good. Yes. I didn't want us to drop out like we did because we were talking about something that was pretty we were still pretty intense on our disagreement, I would say. And so I wanted to finish that discussion up, and then I think Tyler had some questions he wanted to pose, and then properly close out our episode. So where we left off, we were talking about that romance is just for women, and BJ had a hard stance on that.
Hard stance. Very hard stance. People that don't remember, my statement was romance
Yeah.
is for women. It is women centered. It has nothing to do with the pleasure of men at all. Romance is all about the pleasure and enjoyment of women, and men providing said pleasure and enjoyment for women. That is
Tyler
what
fully
romance is.
disagreed.
Well, between the two men on the show, one of us is married, the other one is not. I fully disagree. Got him.
Well, dang.
Boom.
It's fine though. We could be directly opposed, and I still love you, bro.
I've been doing the romance thing wrong.
But I feel like the definitions of romance that you guys have are very different. I was listening, and BJ, it's tangible things that I do. Whereas I think for Tyler, it was more like they are things that we do, but it's part of my everyday almost. And I wonder if that is, do you think it is? Were you as romantic when you were not married, Tyler?
Yeah, that's hard. It's an easy hard no. Matter of fact, BJ and I have talked about this, and because and to his credit, I have been married twice now. So that is what it is. You learn, you move on. But what I will say, during that intermediary period, he's like, bro, you got to stop being a husband to these women that you don't plan on marrying, because that was just a role I slid into because I was comfortable with it.
He's
very
not wrong.
true, factual, very true.
Yeah.
For those who have been either married or in a long-term relationship, gotten out of it, and now are back on the dating scene,
Yeah.
it's very easy to just slide back into that role where, cooking, cleaning, hey, I need your help. What? It's just this. I don't know. It's just it's a role that you are accustomed to, but you can't just be doing that to all these people, especially if you're like, "Bro, are you trying to marry this chick?" I was like, "No, we're just having fun." He's like, "Stop acting like her husband, bro."
He's not wrong.
That's true though, but that's real talk though. That's true.
That would go across the board too. Women also, especially coming out of long-term relationships, want to slide right back into being wife, long-term girlfriend, and it's like, if you're not gonna marry that dude, you don't treat him like a husband.
Yeah, it's also the expectations you're setting by doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you just doing that shit off the rip.
Yeah.
It's true. So listen, there's wisdom in all sides. So that's all.
I have to say, to the point where I think, like you were saying, that they had different definitions of romance. I think in my head, and I think I was kind of closer to what Tyler was saying, that being romantic is being hyper considerate of someone you love. That's why I think he was on that train. I feel like when BJ's like, oh, it's just woman centered, I feel like it doesn't have to be. And if it was just woman centered, if it was usurped from the relationship, would there be a hiccup? I feel like there would be a hiccup if there was no romance in the relationship, because I think romance should go both ways. And I think romance is being so considerate of the other person.
That is
I don't know.
romantic.
BJ's looking at me crazy. He's like,
oh Lord, here he goes. Go ahead,
Question.
BJ.
Go, BJ.
yes.
Go.
Yes.
I completely understand what both of you are saying. Here's my thing. Consideration usually comes from a period of getting to know someone, right? So it's easier to be romantic when you know that person over a course of time. Like, I know you like these things. I know you like these things. I know you prefer, I know you prefer a certain wine with your steak or whatever. Like, that comes from over time, right?
Right.
Take that away. What would be romantic for a woman to a man without consideration? If you didn't know that person, what would be a romantic gesture? Because we know what they are for the other way around.
I feel like if you like, this is kind of romantic, just because gift for a man. Like if you make a basket that was centered towards the things he liked. If he likes the Bucks, you're like, oh, let me get you a Bucks jersey rolled up in there with some Bucks tickets and, you know, something for your man cave. That's like, I'm so considerate. I'm so zoned into what you like and want that that's romance in a way to me.
But that's my question. If you don't know that, what is a romantic gesture?
So you're saying like
if
you
don't have the knowledge to be considerate. What?
I feel like how would you even be romantic to anybody you
That's
don't know?
my point. What you're talking about
like
is
even a woman.
But what I'm saying is, like, do we know what a romantic gesture is? Show up on the first date, flowers. We know that to be a romantic gesture off the rip, whatever, right? That's a long trope for a long time. We'll just say flowers is automatically general consensus romantic gesture, right? What would be the equivalent the other way around, to the other side?
Show up with a bottle of whiskey.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Okay. If you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
BJ, I'm not going to put your business out there, but BJ's, I'm not going to. BJ, no, I'm not going to. BJ's definition, as he's posing it, of romance is basically he's leading to one side. He's cornering the argument, so to speak. I know for a fact BJ does enjoy romance. Romance is, to me, is anything above and beyond what the expectation was. Yes, for a woman, if you show up on a first date having never seen the person, knowing nothing, and you just have a flower, okay, sure. But it could also be deemed as weird. I don't know. My thing is, if you're dating someone, meaning you have had some sort of interaction, they know you, at least in part. Any woman who has ever met BJ for 5 minutes knows he works out, he likes hats, he wears a hoodie, and it doesn't have to be a gift. It's just anything above and beyond the normal expectation, to me, is like you are doing your best to go above and beyond and show your interest. Could be deemed romantic, hence the flower, hence dinner, whatever. For BJ, like that extra hat, that extra whatever would be like, hey, I saw this hat and, you know, whatever. Or it would just be that extra effort. And BJ, I know you would enjoy that because I know you, bro. It's just saying, match my effort, match my understanding, match my intensity for what we're doing here. That's so it could be a definition or an idea of romance. That's the difference being, but I'm assuming outside of the I've never seen you, I have no idea who you are other than we matched on an app and I know your name and I see the photo and you show up with a flower. If that's your sole definition of romance, okay, then you have cornered that argument. But
not the sole definition, of course, but
I'm hoping that's not the entirety of what you mean.
It's not the entirety of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, we know, for example, when people say a romantic gesture, right? It is obviously in speaking in generalities, right? Rom-coms, movies, whatever. All of these things are centered around. My point is, are centered around in the mainstream society or propagandized or whatever is centered around women. Right? It's not like, hey, that's kind of that was my point. It's like it's centered around women. Everything we talk about romantic wise has nothing to do with men. What it is men providing something for a woman, like, oh, court me, oh, take me to dinner, oh, do this,
but
whatever.
I think historically that is what relationships have been. If you go way back, men courted women. Women weren't even allowed in many cases to pursue men and that kind of thing. So I think even though we've evolved to this area where they're like, women and men are all equal, we do everything, I can do anything that you do, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, if you can come for me, I don't care. It is still, we are genetically predisposed for certain things. And so we are genetically predisposed to want the pursuit. And men want to pursue. Since the caveman days, they would go hit her over the head and drag her to the cave. It's the same thing. I mean, that's what happened. But no, you cannot do that anymore.
You say that, hold on. You say that, Kasha, but I just talked to Mo about an interaction Papi Chulo had, unbeknownst to him, like, yo, you want to come have a beer? No, thank you. Well, we don't have to drink beer. You can just come over.
Come over. You ain't got to have beer.
That's how it is these days. So let's just, we'll just slide that out.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It'd be like that out here.
in most cases, though, that is why, like, I think that it is when you look, men are not going to go to the movies and watch a movie about a girl pursuing a dude. You're just not.
No.
Your face just then, you were like, so that is why I think that you see those things, rom-coms and things like that, that you got to look at the money they're going to make on that. That's what it's really about there.
Yeah.
But the average, like, individual that's going to, the flowers, the candy, those things like that, those are more centered around women. But there are romantic gestures. Like I said, if you showed up on a first date, and even if it was the wrong, I would think, whiskey. If a girl showed up on a first date with you and was like, I brought a bottle of whiskey because I was looking at your TikTok and I saw you dancing
You
in
stalking me?
your gym.
Yes.
And yes, bro, because it's hilarious.
You
Bro,
better
Yeah,
thank
he be
her
dancing.
anyway.
if BJ comes up, I'm going to check your TikTok to see what song you're dancing to, what song you're doing. Are you wearing jeans when you work out and boots? I just want to know.
And it better be labeled 18 and above, because some of the moves he be pulling, I'm like, bro, I shouldn't be
Stop.
watching this. It feels intimate, and I shouldn't be a part of it.
I shouldn't be here.
Is this
I
a wrong
cannot.
channel?
It's the best. And every time I
Right
try
up.
to click the comments, you like blocked. I'm like, I
He
hate you,
does. He
BJ. I
has
want to
them
send
off.
something.
It's off. It's off. Because it
Let's
got
say something.
it got kind of
I
crazy
know
at the
why.
beginning. So I'm like
Did it
I
get
know
crazy?
why.
whoa. I'm just having a good time. People like, relax.
Nah,
Bro,
hell
it
no.
is phenomenal. I'm going to check for it. But my whole point is, I'll be like, hey, I saw this whiskey in your TikTok, so here you go. Or
Yeah.
I see you like to work out, so I mean, it's kind of weird if you show up with a whole set of, like, a rack of barbells, but I mean, doing something like that, I still think
That's scary.
would be scary. Like, she's crazy, dude. Let her go. But I think that there is room for there to be romantic gestures for men. I just don't think it is the norm because that's not how we're built. That's the reality.
Actually, I'll
Yeah.
say this. I'll say
What?
this. I'm gonna kind of back up a little bit
Mhm.
and say that there are. This is because of you, Mo. There are norms that men can fall back on for women: flowers, perfume, a meal, whatever, beach walk, whatever it was, BJ, that you were talking about.
Mhm.
I will say that is probably true. I don't think that works. It's a real broad brush to brush
Yeah.
all women. Not all women
Yeah.
actually appreciate that, but whatever. Men, I will say, are harder in that regard because we don't all like the same shit. You
For
can't just
sure.
bring all men a bottle of whiskey or
Nope.
a ball cap. They're all into different things. So I will say the romantic gesture built or there's not like a general romantic gesture for
No.
men.
No.
I know.
And you're
why.
right.
I will acquiesce to that point,
Oh.
BJ.
Yeah, that's what
Kasha
I'm
said
saying.
she knows
That was
one.
my point. That's what I was trying to take. Like, there's nothing
Well,
like.
I
I
think
know
the
what-
original statement was all romance is female
Wait a minute.
centered.
But that's my point. Like the generality of romance is centered around, around the female. You know, she
I'll
doesn't like.
acquiesce.
Yeah.
I'll
I think
acquiesce that
that's
point.
media. I think that's media driven in one way because I had 2 points about that. One thing I say is that, like, yes, there are some things that they're like, oh, that's romantic. And I think initially the relationship, when you're like pursuing, like you say, it should kind of like center towards like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention because, back in the day, like you said, people had gentleman callers. It might be another
Mhm.
gentleman caller behind you, bruh. So, you know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
better have the best flowers and the nicest chocolates. But I will say, I think initially, yes, you're probably trying to court the woman and have interest. But I think on both sides, romance becomes, once you get to know someone, it becomes that hyper considerate portion. Because to me personally, I don't like chocolate really. I eat brownies, but I don't really like chocolate. So if somebody bought me chocolate, I would just be like, and like speaking to my hippie spirit, I would rather a basil plant than some flowers that's gonna die. So if he was like, hey, girl, look at this herb lavender that you like, I'd be like, now that would be like, I'd be like, this
Yeah.
dude right here, baby, that's romantic to me. But I think the thing is, like you're saying, generally just how it is like, oh, if you buy a woman flowers, it's a broad brush. And I think the biggest thing about romance is keeping it going. And that's when you get to know somebody. So
Yeah.
that's my little point.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, exactly. Comes over
What?
time. Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
What'd you
yeah.
Look, CeeLo Green.
We had talked about what type of hippie are you, the Bob Marley hippie or the CeeLo Green, and you said all encompassing. That sounds like a CeeLo Green, the CeeLo Green hippie.
want clarification on that? What does that mean?
Have you ever seen? Do you know who CeeLo Green is? Yes. All right. Thank
Don't
you.
ever insult me like that ever again in
I
the rest of your existence.
I'm a fan, and I may be even not a stalker per se, but anything CeeLo Green I will listen to, I will watch, and there's documentaries and interviews. He does this interview where him and his wife are in I almost said dashiki. It's the robe. It's not a dashiki. It's like a robe type deal.
Mhm.
And he's all about plants and earth and freshness and growing thing and he wants live things in his home, and he wants natural light. He wants all that.
That's my heart right there.
So
Absolutely.
there you go.
So
And then
CeeLo
Bob
Green,
Marley, how do you categorize that?
Bob Marley's just a free spirit, and I hate to pigeonhole him with the weed thing because I don't think that fully encompasses Bob Marley. It was
No, not
part
at
of
all.
his deal, but his message was more like he could have nothing. He could just be on the beach. You know what I'm saying? He just floating
Yeah.
around in the world like that. When he talks about, hey, are you rich? And he's like, what does that mean to you? And he
Yeah.
goes, well, like, you have money. And he goes, no, that's not rich to me. He goes, that doesn't make me,
Right.
it's more like a material thing. I'm sorry, not having materials. And then also he was a little free spirited with his choice in how many baby mamas he had as well. But whatever.
Yeah, he was free.
a true
I'm
player.
not that free. Like, what I actually respect
CeeLo
both
Green.
CeeLo Green, CeeLo Green and Bama. I love both of them, like probably
Of course.
equally. But and the message that Bob Marley had in that time period,
Yes.
and the message that CeeLo Green in his heyday had, absolutely, like you could put me on that. I was just trying to figure out. I'm like, wait, what do you meant by that? Because I just said, yeah, sure. I don't want to just. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to just be saying yes to anything. But yes, I absolutely. I'm on point. They definitely them hippies.
I love it. I love it.
That's a good.
I do have a
All right,
follow up though, because you said
Oh, you
something.
have a
I
follow-up.
want to follow up with a question for it, or
Please.
maybe it was Kasha. Maybe it was Ty. It was all of us. We're talking about.
We
this.
sound alike, so it's okay.
Well done, BJ. Thank you.
Yeah. It was in the group.
Yeah.
We talked about not doing husband or wifey things for people who are not husband or wife.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here's
that
my
was
question.
me. But yeah, go ahead.
Here's my question though.
Okay.
At what point do you interview for example, for the spot, right? For example, people are like, oh, I want to be a wife. Have you displayed anything that would make you, that would make me want to make you my wife? Do you have wifey qualities? Do you have wifey traits? So I think there's a little bit of,
yeah, do you have wife tendencies?
yeah, there's a little bit of fluctuation in there per se. And I think on both sides, especially for you, because I know I've told this to you before. I was like, well, stop being a husband to these.
Yeah. We talked about this on the show too. Like, at what point do you go from we're dating to I want you to be my wife? Or, and actually, this is great for your Mo and Kasha. I choose you to be my husband. I don't have an answer for that. So that's really you, Mo and Kasha.
I'll go first and then Kasha. So for me, when I was just dating guys, it was like, if you listen to some of our previous episodes, we talk about our brother gave us some solid advice. Date everybody. Don't have sex with them, but date all of them. So I was dating all of them. That was the interview process. As I was dating, my husband came into that dating lineup. And when he did, I was like, oh, this guy moves different. So he moved different. So did I. I didn't necessarily introduce wifey tendencies, but I definitely moved different. He got priority responses. He got priority, phone calls and things of that nature. And then when Papi Chulo said, hey, I want it to just be me and you, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, don't call me no more. Hey, I can't, don't do this no more. Like, that's how it went. So once he said that, that's when I started to apply more of the wife tendencies. I would cook for him. I would do those kinds of things that I would not necessarily do for these dudes that I was just dating. I didn't do that because to me, that's reserved for someone who is my husband, that I'm going to do those kinds of performance measures. So if you're just in the interview process, you haven't been moved up into the third or fourth interview. And that doesn't mean third or fourth date. That means third or fourth actual interview. Because I can see who you are maybe 3 or 4 dates in, and you're a lot of fun, but I have no interest in making you a husband. So we just hanging out. That's it. So, and I'm not going to prioritize. If I'm doing something else or hanging with somebody else or whatever, I'll get back to you. The husband or the husband interview process, now I'm gonna start answering your calls. I'm gonna start doing things, like I said, moving different when he started moving different. That's my answer.
Yeah. I will say that I totally agree with that, because for me, if you thought that this situation that we was having, that I wasn't just watching you the whole time, you were mistaken. Like, I'm telling you, it was already like the team, there was no just blank games. These games meant something. And when we got to the playoffs, wild cards and everything, you need to figure out what you're going to do. And I have always been very clear. I never liked being in a situation where there was a communication issue. I always was very clear. Hey, what are we doing? What are your plans? And one of the things is like big things I wanted in my life. Children. I wanted to be able to have family roots. I wanted to have a close family. I needed to see that from him. I needed to see that being displayed. I didn't need to really have the conversation with him, because sometimes people want to put on a show for you. So I really wanted to just see how that was first. And those were things where I'm like, oh, okay, so you do have that quality, and I'm going to step into a new role. And I did, when it got clear that obviously, like, go ahead and shut them other hoes down, because it's over. Okay. Go ahead and wrap that up. I'm going to wrap my situation up, and we're going to, and it's funny because there was a certain, and that's why one of the episodes we cried about already. But there was a certain things that I like saw from him that I was like, oh, absolutely. Like the fact that he could understand my hippie spirit, but he was such a grounded person. And at the same time, he's like very split like that, where he could be a free spirit, but also he's like, the mortgage is now like, so those things were like important to see that, like, wait, he took some things seriously, he's not just playing around. And then just, seeing how he interacted with other people, because that was important to me too. And once I saw that, it's just like, yeah, what are we? And I wanted to have a clear conversation. And that changed, like you say, how I acted. He said to me clear as day though, you will be moving with me next year. The year before we moved in together. And he's like, if it keeps going like this, like we locked in. So I think that's one of the things that you change based on, you don't have to make an announcement to a man or a woman and be like, this is the list you need to follow, because people will put on a show. But you have to watch and then see, like, who is that husband material? Who got the sauce? So
I agree. And I will tell you, just to piggyback on what you said, I think it's even more important when you do decide to elevate to, all right, this is somebody I want to make a husband. You don't give ultimatums. You don't do the whole, giving him a list of things to do. You need to know in your head. And like with my husband, when we were dating, I told him 2 weeks in, like, hey, kids, marriage, I'm not going to be your girlfriend forever. I want children. I know you've done this before. So if you're not up for that, just let me know. He came back around and said, yeah, I'm good for that. Well, still, even with that, in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to start now displaying the wife characteristics that I have. But in my head, if he does not make any additional moves within a certain time frame, then I'm gonna go ahead and be like, listen, we had a good time, but I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. I didn't tell him. I didn't say, hey, this is your ultimatum date. If you don't get engaged to me by this date, la la la.
Yeah.
I didn't say any of that. In truth, the date that I had set, we got married the date that I got set. So he wasn't playing around.
yeah.
But I think it was because, again, when he expressed to me, this is what I want to pursue, I laid out to him what was important. He said, okay, I'm still here for it. And then we both started working towards something. And he closed the deal because he was like, she was displaying the wife roles so he could see what I would do in that role, essentially. Does
Audition.
that answer your question?
Yeah, it's like an audition. You got to audition for the role.
100%.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to hear you both kind of say the same thing. I have female friends that are like, they come, for the male perspective, right?
Right.
And usually my first question is, I was like, first of all, you're asking me this question, back up for a second. I was like, do you like this guy? He's like, well, I was like, if it's you don't like him. I was like, stop. I was like, first of all, stop it. Back up. You don't like him. So don't even ask me the question if you don't like him. I was like, but if you do like him and you've made it known that you like him, I was like, he's going to come get you. He's going to come see about you. It's like all of that, I got to figure it out. None of that shit goes out the window. It's like, oh, I'm locking this down. I was like, I said, you really want to know if a guy likes you or not? Bring him your problems. And if he doesn't bring you solutions, he don't like you.
That's a
That's
good
so
one.
true. That
That's
is
very
so true.
Like, he's not gonna. I'm not saying like, hey, he's gonna like, hey, I need my light bill paid. He's gonna pay it because we're not falling for the okie doke. You know what I mean? But
No.
he'd be like, hey, I'll help you get a job. I'll help you do this. I'll help you do. Like, he'll give you some solid solutions.
Will.
to your problems. Like, not kidding you.
Okie doke.
You're not falling for that one now.
McDonald's hiring, girl.
Girl, you better get in there.
You bring it out instead of they hit you with this one. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's wild.
Dang, shoot. That's wild,
That's
bro.
crazy.
I wish I
That's
could help
rough.
you though.
Damn.
He don't care.
Hey, he don't like
He
you
don't
like that.
care.
That's funny.
I will summarize it this way, and I think BJ and I have talked about it on 56 as well. I think it for both sides, male or female. Are they willing to make room and space for you in their life?
100.
I think that goes
100.
both sides.
Yeah.
If you're trying to date someone, they're always busy, and it's like, hey, you are second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever. Like, I'm just busy. They're not making room for you. Now,
No.
that doesn't make them a bad person. It's also just going to be time of life. That's a different conversation, but there's different phases of life. But if someone's locked the fuck in and they are interested in pursuing whatever your relationship might be, they make room for you.
100.
They will figure it out.
That is 100% true.
And if it's a man, tell us, listen, if it's a man, if he's with, and I think we've talked about this plenty of times. I said, what is he willing to sacrifice for you? I was like, because that goes into what Ty's saying is like fit you in, right? If he's got his program, he's already locked in, he's got, stuff or whatever. Like, for example, I got my shit squared away, right? So be like, oh, hey, I got this going on. I really want to see you, but we got this. It's a busy weekend all around. And I'll probably be like, let's see, if I get off at 7, so if I leave at 7:15, be there by, it's like, it's like I could squeeze in, if I leave a little early, I could squeeze in, 20 minutes for a coffee or whatever. If those two things are happening like back and forth, toss it. It ain't.
Yeah.
It ain't there.
That is so true. Like that's something I forgot, but yeah, that's something that I actually did appreciate about him is that there would be like times where I'm like, oh, I know you're busy. And he's like, no, you could just come, wait till I get off or wait till this happens. I'll be right. We'll make it work. So that is so true. Oh, we used to have 12-hour conversations. So that's another thing that I'm pretty sure
they did.
Well, can you also maintain a conversation? That's another thing. Is it always 15 minutes and then we're doing adult stuff, or like, can we actually talk? That's a different relationship.
True.
I'm just saying.
He's right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Let's get this. Let's get to this.
Yeah. Kasha, this is a side question because Mo was talking about when Papi Chulo would call. Are you aware, and has Mo always, and you can edit this out, Mo, are you aware she puts on the quiet storm voice when she's like, that's Papi Chulo? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you even know what I'm talking about, Kasha?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Mo would be in the middle, like, pop, 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 pop. Oh, hold up. Hey, baby. It's like she gets all tucked in and just, I'm like, oh, she must be Papi Chulo. Shit.
The best part is this. She'll be talking, see that call? You see that call and it go, boop, on the window.
Yeah, hold up. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all in a second.
You know what? I can't hate on her for that though, because
I'm not mad.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was still like, oh, hold on, he's hello.
I do.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, baby.
this day,
It's a little
shit.
different.
If
I
Frank,
can't hate on her.
if he calls, I'm gonna be like, hey, hold on a minute. I gotta answer this real quick. I'm gonna answer him. Yes. I don't care.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. All right, my question, and then I respect for everybody's time. My question was not as deep as that one, which was great. This is like the relationship has occurred. You're in the relationship. TV shows. And let me flush out my question. Do they always have to be something you both enjoy? It's part one. Part two, if that's not the case, how do you work through that? Because typically, and I'm generalities, men like shows that women can't fucking stand. And I've never met a woman I've ever met in my life that doesn't like watching what I call trash reality TV. Like, I don't even know, like, I don't know what I'm trying to, the dating shows, the whatever the hell that shit is, just make me want to, I'm like, so there's got to be a compromise, but I'll summarize my question. This is time you're spending together. Do they always have to be something you both like? If not, how do you work through the, all right, we watched your show, today's my day, or whatever, how does that work? It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing. I would say, because that's a big thing for us, having kids, having really busy lives, that sometimes that's our date. Okay. Like we watch a show, you know. No, it's not always what we both enjoy. I'm a true sci-fi girly, and he's like a sportsman. So there's a lot of things that we're not always on the same page. But we will try to, like, he definitely, especially in our earlier years when I was younger, he watched all the trash reality TV shows with me and was with me in the drama. Like, he was like, she gonna beat her ass if she said that one more time. Now I know what you're talking about.
See, that's my rule. If I'm gonna watch this with you, you gotta let me commentate, because I'm gonna talk shit. I have to.
Yeah, we that's our banter. We have to commentate. Like, even if it's yeah, we have to. I think that that's a big thing. We did go back and forth, and there's some things that, like, you know, I solely want to watch myself. Like, there's never a day he will sit down and watch Star Trek with me. That's never happening. But there's things that we did enjoy together, and a lot of the solutions is like getting recommendations from friends and like coworkers and being like, what are you watching with your husband, girl? Because that would like help us come together and help us like find shows that we would meet in the middle. But no, I don't think it always, and yes, it should balance back and forth, and it should meet in the middle. Be like, what do you got? What do you think of this show? So yeah.
Me and Papi Chulo are very, very different. I am the sports person. I'm the sports person in our house, especially football season. I will watch college football. I will watch pro ball. So I will watch football all weekend long. He has come to know that football season we watch together now. So that has evolved. That's the compromise for football. For football, I will definitely say. But on the average television show, like my husband, thanks to you, sir, we have to watch Buying Montana, Living Montana, Big Sky, like all of the reality real estate shows that are out there, so he can see the scenery in Montana. Here's the thing that drives me crazy, but I have had to be like, you know what? It makes him happy. We will watch the same episode several times. And I'm there. There will come a point where I'll be like, babe, I can't watch it again.
But it made me happy.
But if it's just a night where I have nothing going on, or if I'm going to be just sitting there next to him and I'm really like, okay, I can get into it with him. We have also come to the agreement. There are some shows, like my husband is not a sci-fi guy, and I do. He doesn't like anything really that is like sitcoms. He doesn't watch sitcoms. I do not like reality TV. Like with I hate the trash reality. It drives me crazy. The closest I think I would come to it is watching like American Idol, and like that's my version of reality TV. Those things we don't really have the back and forth, but like a couple episodes ago, I talked about, because we have a segment about what are you watching? Well, I'm watching this show called Elsbeth, and he hates it. He will watch it with me.
That's my
and
fault.
He commentates the whole time. Why the hell does she have 3 bags? This is outrageous. Nobody would take her serious. This doesn't make any sense. So for me, honestly, it has made it more funny to where I'm like, hey babe, Elsbeth song, come on, let's watch it.
So you can be mad.
Yeah. I love it.
I think after you have to find your happiness with knowing that you're different, because I know he's never going to like that show, but I get quite a bit of joy out of watching it with him because of how pissed he gets about it. And we have come to grips that football season, he'll watch football with me. There are many Sundays where we're watching football and I look over and my boy's out just like that.
I respect it.
I'm like, he's there. He's trying.
Yeah, he's there.
So,
he's in the room. Yeah.
That's how we do it. But to say the fact though that like you said, oh, that's not as big of a deal. It is absolutely a big deal because it is the downtime that we as human beings typically use. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, that can really be a deal breaker if you're not careful. Because it comes, you don't think anything that I like is important.
Yeah.
DJ?
I think yes, I agree with everybody's viewpoints on this one. I think it's important to have your own stuff and to be
Yes.
okay with your own stuff. Like, for example, I'm not watching fucking reality TV shows. I'm not watching Mormon Housewives or Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not watching that shit. Okay.
They have Housewives of London now, just so you know. But
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm out. Right.
Why do I know that?
Yeah.
You watch them, don't you?
You're a married man. That's why you know that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
why.
not watching that, right? But in turn, there's things that I watch that she will not watch, right? So like, I'll be just like, she's like, you're an iPad kid. You're always on your iPad watching YouTube or watching YouTube shorts or like, like Dragon Ball anime or whatever. Like, there's things that are solely mine, right? And there are things that are solely hers, and they will come together and like watch. Like right now, it's like Paradise is the big one. Love that show, right? So it's like Paradise. If you haven't seen it, amazing show.
I've seen it.
Go watch it. It's wonderful, amazing show.
Okay.
But stuff like that, like there will be things that are like Jordan Hayward, like, hey, in new episode coming out. Let's center, not necessarily the whole week, but like, hey, some of our joint time will be centered around things that we share. But I think that like that just encompasses everything in the relationship. I think there will be some things that all of you are married. I'm the one who hasn't been able to figure it out. So,
bro, I'm sorry, bro. Damn,
you're fine, right?
Fired, bro.
You're fine, right?
Bro, edit that out. Damn.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So relax. But it speaks to a different viewpoint, right? And maybe you guys can give some guidance or some perspective on this. I've always kind of looked at it as like, for wanting to necessarily lose your own identity as it becomes. When you take that oath, in front of God and all your toys, you become a unit, right? But there's still some individuality, I think, that has to still remain, right? There's things that make me who I am. I don't want to, and I've always jokingly said this, in dating or whatever, like, yo, I was in the gym, you work out too much. I'm like, well, I was doing this when you met me. And if I wasn't doing if I wasn't doing this, you wouldn't feel the same way about me if I wasn't doing this. I don't plan on stopping doing the things that I was already doing, right? Especially, let me back up. It's like, I'm not going to sit at the bar till 2 a.m. I'm not doing that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But in the sense of like things that I like to do, I'm not necessarily like pushing those off to the side because now we're together and you don't like it. Well, I was already doing this. Like, I have my things, you have your things, and we have things that we develop. I think you develop things together once you kind of get, was like, because maybe I wasn't drinking ice brown sugar shaken espressos with salted caramel foam. I wasn't drinking that shit before.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like
specific.
You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, what is this again? How do you order it? What do I say?
Delicious.
You get to the window, it's like, what do I say again? Okay, this is what kind of foam now? Okay. There's stuff like that that like, that she will bring to me, and that I will, like, things that she didn't necessarily, wasn't aware of. You like I said, it kind of comes with being around each other and developing things together. And I'm sure that continues to happen going forward. You guys can tell me better.
I think that in a relationship, you have to maintain a piece that is you. Yes, you do need to have, it's like a Venn diagram where there should be some overlap, but there has to be a part that's her and a part that's you. Or, in your instance, or like with me and Frank, there's still parts that he likes to do that I'm like, and there's things that I like to do that he doesn't enjoy, but there has to be some overlap in order for us to work. I will say, like, I can't think of, when we specifically going back to the shows thing, there hasn't been a show where we have both been fully invested. So I think that that we can still meet in the middle and still have that overlap on something that we don't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be, we both co-sign it, if that makes sense. But
Right.
there has to be, this is where I think couples sometimes will get lost because they think that it is a requirement that you become a complete entanglement of each other. And then all of a sudden, 10 years down the road, you're like, I hate the version of me. And so now I'm mad at that person for it. And so they're like, I love to work out still. So we built our house with a gym in it so that I can work out. If Frank wants to join me, I love it. But if he doesn't, I'm okay. It's still my thing that I like to do. I can think, looking back, the last show that I think we were both invested in was during COVID, and we would stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning watching Tiger King. I don't know if that was healthy either.
That's because he worked the case. No, I'm joking.
Bro. So, but I mean, like, that was great, but that also wasn't the norm. That was a very different time. And then, so I think the time period and the timing and everything made things a little bit different. But I think that you are 100% right, that you do have to maintain a sense of self, but you do have to leave room for that overlapping Venn diagram so that there is a portion that is y'all. There's a portion that is her. There's a portion that is him. And sometimes the parts, like maybe she doesn't always work out with you, but maybe sometimes she'll go to the gym with you. But you can't give up all of you because, like I said, you'll wake up 10 years from now and be like, I hate who I am and I hate her for it. So I'm now going to make her life miserable. Watch what I do.
Facts.
I'm just gonna say this: BJ is a anomaly. The man has hands like a contractor, a general contractor. Will bench lift the whole house, but he'll drink a brown sugar shaken whatever he just said. And I've seen it. And he loves food and he loves nice things. And I will say, my son, this happened like 5 years ago or whatever. We were Starbucks. I'm usually like, latte is about as fancy as my verbiage gets. And even that's probably a little fancy. And he was like, I want a pistachio cream, whatever, with pistachio cold foam. And I was like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? I looked down like, bro, and then I taste, and I was shitting on him, and then he had it, and I said, let me taste that. And I tasted, I was like, man, let me get one of them things too. Hold up.
Exactly.
What do I say?
Hold on, man. Say that again.
Say that again. How do I say it? Yeah. I like that.
How do I say it?
Yeah, how do I say that? Do that.
No, I really think that you have to maintain a part of yourself. And I didn't even realize I was like hyper independent until after I even had a child. Because I think I automatically was just thinking like, oh, I'm just going to merge with him. And it was like true for a while, but I realized, and I think it was just better for us both, that we are both kind of independent individuals who can come together. And I think that that makes things really interesting in a way. Like I always have something to come home and tell him. He always has something to come home and tell me, because it's like we were there because we spend 24/7 together. So I couldn't even tell you what happened. You already know. It was literally like us having our own vibe. And like I'm a person, and I think because I had the age gap with my siblings, I very much value alone time. He also has an age gap on the other way with his sibling, and he very much values his alone time. So it's like, yeah, we love each other and everything. Like that's real cute. But sometimes, I like to go and paint little pictures. You know what I'm saying? I like to do my own thing. I like to watch my Star Trek to myself. You know what I'm saying? And I eat, you know what I'm saying? I want to go eat sushi with my girls. You know what I'm saying? I cannot be with you all day. And he don't want that either. So I'm okay with that. And I think also in the necessary times of growth, which we always reach a point where we're going to need growth at all times. But those points where you really see hey, I need to make a big change. Sometimes you need that independence, because sometimes people might take that personally if you start changing in the way of, having that time alone to kind of grow and kind of think on things. Or if you weren't working out before, starting to work out, if they're not used to having alone time away from you, or not used to you having your own thoughts and your own ways of doing things, sometimes they take that as a slight, like, oh, did I do something? It's like, no, baby, I'm focusing on me again. You know what I'm saying? It's no thing. I think that that's important, but it's also important to while you're in a place of growth, while you're having that independent time, to turn around and say, just like when he said that Venn diagram, and say, hey, where do we overlap? You want to go watch some trash reality TV on, and see some hoes fight or something? I don't know, You gotta do something, It's a balance.
Dumb ways to die. Just throwing that out there. Dumb ways to die. Look it up.
Dumb ways to. Oh, never mind.
Lately, our thing hasn't been necessarily TV. It's been TikToks. It'd be like, let's sit here and watch TikToks. And our algorithms are very, very different.
Yeah.
Hilarity.
And very, very different. It'll be like these post-apocalyptic TikToks where it's like, pick a door out of one of four. I'm like, what door would you pick? 3? I'm gonna pick 1. And then you gotta watch the rest of the video like, see, I knew I was right. I thought you got the shitty. You know what I mean? But like stupid stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's like, none of the trash TV, but like trash TikTok is.
I love it.
She's like, you are definitely an iPad kid. I'm like, I spent a lot of time by myself. I don't know. What do you do?
That's true.
You were an only child. That's
Being
why.
alone can make you, exactly. It makes you have that independence.
Yeah,
it does.
I can't talk about my algorithm on here, so it'll get me in trouble. My algorithm is not great. I'll tell you after we're done recording. It's bad.
I don't want our episode blocked.
Turn it off. We could either know.
Ooh, Lord.
Well, to be respectful of everybody's time, this was finishing up the episode. I want to say thank you to 56ing, DJ, Tyler, gentlemen. You were amazing. I think that this is something that we didn't really know how it was going to go, but I think it went very, very well.
I think it flows well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm Monique. That's Kasha, and they are 56ing, and this conversation is over.
Oh my God.